underbills nearing the desk of Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The Senate unanimously approved the Republican-sponsored legislation yesterday. It previously cleared the House, but goes back for a final vote because changes were made. The sponsor has said the cost of protective equipment is among the challenges businesses have faced in the coronavirus pandemic. It's not clear if the governor will sign the tax break, which could reduce revenue by at least $18 million annually. Following an eye-opening 65% drop over the last year, a new report is offering insight into how the state can keep post-pandemic. Here's correspondent Jason Scott.
The Michigan Eviction Project, which is led by the University of Michigan faculty and housing attorneys, found the massive drop occurring between the months of April and December of last year. Pre-pandemic, the state's eviction filing rate was 17% in 2018, the equivalent to one eviction filing for every 6 occupied rental units and more than twice the estimated national filing rate. While the CDC's eviction moratorium remains in place, that could be lifted. The report suggests engaging now with all stakeholders to invest in maintaining a stable rental market in Michigan moving forward.
Consumers Energy electricity customers should expect higher rates as summer approaches. The energy company has implemented its summer peak rates starting June 1st. Energy bills will be about $2 higher on average for residential customers during this period. The peak rate takes place from weekdays. Customers are advised they can offset the extra costs by doing household activities like laundry or dishes during off-peak hours or on weekends. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 910. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology forecast. Some cloudiness in the area early today. Lots of sunshine for this afternoon. Highs will top out near 81 degrees. Winds turn to the west around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Lows drop to 61. Winds west-southwest, 5 to mostly sunny. Highs warm into the middle 80s. Winds stay west-southwest, 5 to 15. Higher gusts possible. Friday night, mostly clear. Lows fall back to 66. And then Saturday, sunshine remains in the forecast and highs reach 91. This is meteorologist Phil Jensko with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Right now it's 62.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WS and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you. And welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Nice to have you with us on this Thursday morning. And don't forget you can watch us on twitch.tv, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And not only will you see me this morning, but you'll see my first guest, who I'll introduce you to in just a moment. But I will tell you later on during the 10 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about education with Brenda Wilson from Bethlehem Lutheran. And at 11 o'clock this morning, we're going to talk about something called the Forgotten Man Ministries at the Midland Jail. All of that coming up. But my first guest this morning is an old friend of mine who I've known for years and years and years. Back in his days of being an Elvis interpreter, one of the best I'd ever seen. But also a guy with great spirituality and has an interesting life story to tell. And we say good morning to Danny Vann.
And good morning to you, Mr. Lewis, in WSGW country up there.
I love it. We both have headphones and microphones on, so you sound good. You don't sound
yes.
echoey.
No, I bought the good stuff.
You bought the good stuff, huh?
Yes.
But Danny, before we get into what we want to talk about in foster care and things like that, I think maybe a little of your history is important here because you, as I mentioned early on, and Danny knows how much I really liked when he did this. Danny was one of the best Elvis interpreters you'd ever see in your life. Fabulous voice. And
thank you.
It took a twist, didn't it? Kind of took a twist in your life that put you on the sidelines from Elvis.
Yeah, in 2013, I had a heart attack, and
isn't that long?
It has. Yeah, it
Wow.
has. Yeah. and about a third of my heart, the bottom third of my heart, got hit. And so it put an end to, all of my outside activities. No travel, no performing, no job. I was immediately retired. According to my cardiologist, if I went back to work, I would be gone. So he said I had advanced arterial sclerosis, as well as, the heart attack and the heart condition now. So it's been a long road. I've been, working at coming back, and there is no all the way back. There's just stable, So people ask me how I'm doing. My answer is I'm still here.
Yeah, 8 years, not bad. You've done all right. You've done all right.
Yeah.
So, and you were fairly young when you had that heart attack.
59 and a half.
Yeah. Well,
and it's back at 45 years old. I had a double bypass, open heart surgery, double bypass.
Yeah. So you've had heart issues.
Yes, I have. It's genetic. It's genetic.
Bad news is no more Elvis. The good news is you're still around to talk about important topics like we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Foster care, I know, is something that is in the forefront of your mind, and the foster care system. Tell us why. What your involvement was.
Well, unbeknownst to most of my fans and followers, I was a product of the ward of the court, the foster care system, and it wasn't anything I really talked about because I had gotten past it, But as I sat on the sofa in 2013, 14, and into 2015, recovering, I just really lamented about what am I supposed to do now, right? And the message kept coming back. Excuse me, I don't know if you remember, Art, but back around 2004, 2005, I did a series of concerts for the Lutheran boys' home in Bay City.
Yeah.
And those were boys. The reason I went there was because I wanted to give back to the group home that I was in. It was an orphanage back then. Now they call them group homes, and they're even changing that to transitional homes. So, but I stayed at St. Vincent's Home in Saginaw in 1965.
Down the road from me here. I'm on.
Yeah. But they used to be on 800 Howard Street.
Yep.
And that was the big Orphan Annie building, right? I call it the Orphan Annie building, And so I stayed there, and then we came out to Shields. That was the summer villa out there at the time. And so I went through that system. From there, went into foster care, myself and my 5 younger siblings. And we went into foster care, and Dad rescued us out of that after about a year and a half. And
when you say dad, you mean your biological dad?
My bio dad, he came and was able to retrieve us from the system, which is the goal of foster care. Ultimately is to help reunify the family. And FYI, June is National Reunification Month. So there's a big news spiel on that. And anyway, because I came from that, as I got to a place where what else can I do from home, it was kind of like, well, Gordon Kukulis, who was the director of that boys' Lutheran home, when I did all those concerts for them at Krijak's, by the way.
Yep.
And we did those things for the boys. Well, Gordy told me, he says, Danny, you have an amazing story that you were here once and you've made it to where you are is so encouraging to the boys, to the counselors, and to our whole organization. He said, your story needs to be told. And I just kind of put that in the backseat. So, it's not about me. It's about the kids. And so it was like, okay,
we should point out We should point out that, when he said, look at you, you succeeded, he wasn't just talking about Elvis either. I mean, you had a career.
Right.
What were
That's
you doing?
right. I had a career in information technology in the computer industry, and I made it into middle management and had a real good six-figure career going, when the heart attack hit. And so he was also aware of that, because I brought information and things like that to him. So anyway, he told me people need to know that kids can come from that and be successful. And at the time, there wasn't, to me, I wasn't aware of all the stuff that's out there now on the internet and on Facebook, and LinkedIn has got a lot of stuff. And of course, YouTube and all the various social media has a lot of information like that. So as I sat on the couch, recovering from the heart attack, Gordy's words kept haunting me. And so I put pen to paper and told my story, and that's where the first book came from 2 years ago. My journey in the shadow of the king.
All right, hang on. We got to take a break here. We are talking to Danny Vann, and we're going to be chatting with him about foster care when we return here on WSGW. Our program sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty, and Linda, of course, is really one of the finest realtors you can ever deal with. Sellers are getting top dollar for their homes, with the average of 1 day on the market, and buyers come cash or pre-approved because she doesn't waste any time, and she's easy to work with. No pressure tactics, with several years of experience. Linda's a full-time agent that lives here and sells here. It's not a franchise, so the money stays right here in your community. Buyers, the interest rates are still low. Linda Shepard watches the market closely, so clients get a showing fast and have a fighting chance. She'll fight for every offer, every time. Call Linda Shepard today at 989-295-7713, 295-7713. We'll be back with Danny Vann, and we talk about foster care after these notes.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your... Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it does take with Pioneer Sugar. Whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners, it's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Do you want to invest in cash flowing real estate without all of the hassles? Introducing Passiveinvesting.com, a national private equity real estate firm with over $380 million under management. We have an offering available to invest right now in an institutional level apartment community in Orlando, Florida. Only available to independently verified. Visit Passiveinvesting.com for details on how you can invest today. That's Passiveinvesting.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
New claims for unemployment benefits slipped to the lowest level of the pandemic last week. There were 385,000 people filing new claims, down 20,000 from the week before. Still receiving benefits increased, though continuing claims came in at 3.7 million. And because of the short week and the Memorial Day holiday, the ADP National Employment Report for May was a day later than usual. The payroll processing company says private employers created 978,000 new jobs in May. The Labor Department releases the May employment report tomorrow. AMC Entertainment shares are losing ground after rising to a record yesterday. AMC has revealed plans to sell up to 12 million additional shares. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda, invested in you.
Drive-by birthday parties, virtual weddings,
In a world full of things you never thought possible, here's one more. Now you can get Allstate's quality insurance at an affordable rate. When you bundle your home and auto, you'll save up to 25%. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company, and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com. Rocket.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show,
Fauci's emails show he took the lab leak thing seriously. See his address, fabulousfauci@yahoo.com.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW, talking to Danny Vann about the foster care system, of which he participated involuntarily when he was a lot younger. Danny, is the foster care system broken?
I guess it depends on how you define broken. It's certainly, not to twist a pun, but it's certainly dysfunctional. There's a lot of things about it that could be better. Does it serve a purpose? Certainly. It's what's really interesting about that question is how could we make it better? We could eliminate it. That's the best it could be, is to, work people out of the whole system to the point where we're helping the families that are broken so that they don't have to feed a foster care system, right?
Yeah, there are situations where that won't work.
Exactly. There are.
There has to be a backup system, right?
There is. And the problem is that, and they're working on this. There's a lot of training now that's required. There's more vetting going on where they're researching people before they let them open their homes. But we're in a society, unfortunately. The younger the generation, the less morals they have, unfortunately. And it's sad to say that, but it's just, you can see it all around you. People lie, people cheat, people have ulterior motives, and they'll put on a face, I'm going to help these kids. And sure enough, next thing you know, they're in trafficking, So there's a lot of wolves out there. It's a tough road. It's very tough.
Have you seen any changes at all from the time you were in the system?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, definitely. There's a lot more programs to not only assist the foster parents, there's more support groups, which, by the way, if you are a foster parent and you've been struggling, get online. There's support groups all over the place. The one that I've connected with the most is Dr. John DeGarmo, who has a Foster Care Institute. He has over 20,000 foster parents and people, advocates in the system that support each other. And there's many other. There's a Michigan foster care group as well. So has the system gotten better? Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there's more benefits. There's more help for the foster families as well as the bio families, which, the goal, as I said earlier, for foster care is reunification. The family's in trouble. Let's take the kids out, see if we can help fix the family. The goal is to get them back together. But as you said, if there's drugs involved, if there's other major problems, there's a lot of families, unfortunately, don't want kids. And so they just neglect them to the point where CPS has to come in, Child Protective Services, and take them out of that environment, unfortunately. So
what does it take to be a good foster parent?
Patience.
Yeah. I would never have thought of that word, but it's a good one. Yeah.
Patience. You know, you got to remember that these kids have been traumatized, and you have no idea what it's been. Well, you know what? Some people in the last 18 months have an inkling of what it's like to be in foster care, because COVID has ripped your routine to shreds and turned your life upside down. But you saw an end in sight. Foster kids don't. And so you got an inkling of what it's like to be 6, 7, 8, 9 years old and have your world ripped apart, turned upside down. And you don't have the faculties to deal with that at that age. And you may have even been abused or neglected for years before that. And there's new data that has come out that is showing that the wiring in the brain with all that neglect is way short of being able to process things. And so if you're a foster parent, patience is a must. And training, certainly, but you're not a counselor, you're not a psychologist. So the other thing it takes to be a good foster parent is a village. You have to have help. You have to be able to reach out, not just to caseworkers or people like that, but you, as I said earlier, you need to be in a support group of some sort, virtually or physically, because these kids, they're special, you know, and unfortunately it's not their fault. They're victims, and they act out, you know, they have their issues and all that. So they're not bad kids. They're kids that didn't get a solid foundation to start.
Not bad kids, bad situation though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let me go back to your story. And you mentioned that your biological dad rescued you from foster care.
Yeah.
What's the backstory there, and how did that come about?
Well, the backstory is he came out of the Navy. Mom was in the neighborhood. They knew each other apparently over the years. Mom was pregnant for me when she was 15. I was born when she was 16. By the time she was 22, she had 6 kids. And by the time she was 30, they were divorced. So Dad came from a violent home. And these are things I learned while I was researching the book, by the way. I didn't know a lot of this stuff until I started digging into the why, right? Well, he was violent, very violent. When he got angry, there were fists through doors. There was, you know, phones ripped off the wall. We witnessed bodies flying across the room. I myself, you know, tried to get in between him and Mom once, and his backhand threw me all the way across a room. I landed against the back wall of the room. That's how hard he hit me. And so that violence, Mom finally just between that and some other issues that happen between people when the relationship breaks down like that, Dad finally left. And so Mom was left with 6 kids in 1962, 63, right? She's got 6 kids. She's a waitress, you know. I don't know about the alimony situation. I didn't ever get the full skinny on that, but whatever it wasn't enough for 6 kids and running a household, because she got the homestead too. And so she farmed us out to family, you know, the kinship care deal. They call it kinship care today. We went to different relatives for a while. That didn't work. She remarried. another sailor, and he only lasted a year and a half, and then he was gone. And after that, I think she was so depressed, and it was such a struggle. She pretty much gave up. The house got condemned. Art, before we went to the orphanage, I remember sitting in our living room watching television, and there were rats that would run by our house, our TV in front of it, and they were the size of small cat.
Oh, wow.
They were huge. So the house got condemned. And from there, Mom finally just said, I can't do this. And she dropped us off at the orphanage. And
so how does a violent dad come back into the picture and be allowed to reclaim his children?
Good question. Because it didn't end happily ever after.
There's more to the story.
Yeah. He, to my knowledge, I don't think he ever took. Back then, they didn't require like they do now. The system improved. I don't think he ever took anger management. If he did, I never heard about it. And within 6 months of us all being back, because he brought us back 2 by 2, which is how they sent us out to the foster homes 2 by 2 out of the orphanage. But he brought us back, and by that time I was like 15, and my youngest sister was 8 or 9, right? So this was a 5-6 year cycle for us from when it started. And I was left to mind the other 5 kids after we got home from school until Dad got home from work. Well, apparently either, I don't know who it was, somebody reported that, and Dad had to get a nanny. So, and I don't know if I mentioned, but early on, alcohol was a problem in the family. So that kind of spawned some of the issues and the fights and all that, besides other issues. But so Dad brings us a nanny that he met at the Wonder Bar in Bay City. And she wound up being his wife. So now we have a stepmom in the picture. Yeah.
Let me get you to hang on. I've got to take a break. We're talking to Danny Vann about the foster care system. It's an important topic today because the system is very important to salvation of many youngsters. Let's put it that way.
Over 400,000 in foster care right now across the U.S.
We'll talk more with Danny when we return here on the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates. Other companies might deliver a lot of hay. ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Your home for Detroit Tigers baseball is WSGW.
The 1-2 fastball. Strike 3 called. Got him. Tigers win. The Tigers facing a hot and sweep the Yankees for the first time since 2000 in this ballpark.
Tigers baseball brought to you in part by DCECU.
Bader & Sons, Michigan's John Deere dealer.
Woolfiles Ace Hardware in Saginaw. WSGW is your station for the Tigers. The WSGW Morning Team Show with Charlie and Dave and Pat.
The WSW online poll is about the postage stamp increase. The U.S. Postal Service is requesting an increase for first-class stamps from 55 cents to 58. If approved, the change would take effect August 29th. Other price hikes for postal along with layoffs of some management level employees. This is as the post office is facing estimated losses of $160 billion over the next decade. So a poll question for you is, what is your thought on a stamp price increase? And you can choose these answers. I still use mail regularly, so eventually this is going to add up a little bit. I use mail every so often, so it's not really going to bother me. Or you can choose the answer, what's a stamp?
Maybe some.
There could be some people. You can vote and participate in the online poll. Head to WSGW.com. You scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, and make your vote that way.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Gonna do
The Ramsey Show.
If you want to be a millionaire, you need to learn what millionaires do and do what they do. You have to think through this stuff.
The Ramsey Show, weeknights at 10 on WSGW. Direct from the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Hey, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, and we're talking to Danny Vann about the foster care system. I think we have a caller waiting here. Let's see. Jack in Cass City. Are you still on the line? Jack, are you with us? Jack, are you there? Nope, we lost Jack. All right, Jack, call back. I didn't see him there and wanted to chat with us. So, you tell the story of Dad coming, getting you out of foster care.
Yes.
Was it the right solution?
I mean, it's always right to try and get the family back together, but in our case, was he ready to have us back? At the time, there coulda, shoulda been more done to prepare him. Because like you said, how does a violent parent get their kids back? And unfortunately, that's still going on today. These parents, demonstrate, 3 months, 6 months, whatever, without incident, right? And then when everything comes back the way it was, things flare up again. And so we went back and forth between Mom and Dad. Mom had her issues. He had his. And ultimately, I emancipated out at 17. Following, guess what? My music.
I assumed you had purpose. I knew what that was. Is there, when a youngster reaches the age where they have to leave the foster care system, they're kind of thrown into the world.
Yep.
Do we do enough for them after foster care? There's enough problems in foster care. What do we do post foster care?
In 2021, there's a lot that is being offered to the kids coming out of the foster care system. Way more than I was ever aware of. And there's some incredible programs up to and including pandemic assistance right now. So, and there's a website called checkforus.org. So if you've either emancipated out or if you've aged out of foster care and you're between 18 and 26 years old, the government has a pandemic relief stimulus check, if you want to call it that, just for you to help you get on your feet. And that's an extra payment above and beyond all of the other programs. Michigan has their foster youth in transition program. There's a Foster's Find. There's just ifoster.org. I could go on and on.
There's a lot of services.
And they're all free to the foster.
Yeah.
The problem is they either A, don't know about them, or B, they're too embarrassed to want to participate.
Yeah.
Or C, they just think, you know what, if they're going to help me, then let them find me. They should take care of me. Yeah. And I hope you're not one of those, because you need to take care of you. If you look around, you've been a victim and a prisoner of this system. I was asked yesterday in an interview from a new fellow who's got a new podcast out called I Am Foster. And his question to me is, what do you have to say to these kids? Why, and my answer is, you've been a prisoner all this time. Why would you want to go on government assistance and now have them tell you what to do? You started out in foster care. What's the worst thing about foster care? From a victim standpoint, I have no control. I didn't ask to be in this. I didn't ask for my parents to go through all these problems. I didn't ask to be placed in this home. And you don't ask me where I want to go. You just tell me, and so now I'm finally out, and you want to take care of you now,
I have to ask, though. I mean, that conjures up questions in my mind like you wouldn't believe, and you know me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have any choice. They threw you into a system you really didn't want to be in.
Right.
But what have been the alternative? I mean,
Yes.
from the reality of it, isn't the lesser of two evils better than nothing at all?
Yes, if you have the wherewithal to pull that silver lining mentality out, which I did, but a lot of kids don't. All they know is their family's been ripped apart. They're being shoved someplace where, but yes, you're absolutely right. And as I said before the break, there's over 420,000 kids in the foster care system at any given time in the United States. And those kids have 420,000 different stories, right? Yeah. So how do you make one system fit 500,000 people? You don't.
All right, hang on. I'm going to take a break. We come back. We're going to talk about Dad, because Father's Day is coming, and whether or not it is the happiest of holidays. We'll talk more with Danny Vann when we return on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW.
Have you heard about all the benefits of joining DCECU? The great rates, the member give back. Membership sounds amazing. Too bad you're not eligible, right? Wrong. It's easier than ever to join.
I thought only immediate family of DCECU members could get in, but I was wrong. My Uncle Earl is a member, so now I can be a member too.
I'm eligible through my stations. I didn't even know that was possible.
I didn't realize that employees of nearly 100 companies can join DCECU. I was able to become a member because I work for one of them.
If you're not a member, you can be. Find out how at dcecu.org/join. Membership eligibility required. While member give-back rebates and rewards occur with great regularity, this credit union benefit is not guaranteed. Not all loan and deposit products are eligible for member give-back consideration. Some limitations apply. Insured by
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the first ever Midland County Cornhole Tournament, presented by Forgotten Man Ministries. The player registration fee is usually $100, but if you go to RocketGrabPlus.com right now, you get yours half off. And the winner of the tournament takes home $1,000. The tournament is taking place Saturday, June 26th at the Eagle Ridge Church of God in Midland. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com. Your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Here's what's coming up this week on Outdoor Magazine. First, Captain John Roby talks about trout and salmon fishing at the Straits of Mackinac. Then, Bob Ransom from Primal Tree Stands on their new Breeze ground blind. In hour number 2, Don Miller on muskie fishing on Lake St. Clair. And in hour number 3, more fishing with Dave Rose, outdoor writer and fishing guide. 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
Tom Sullivan.
Why am I complaining about Joe Biden and the deficit when Donald Trump was fine with the deficit? And so was Barack Obama, and so was George W. Every one of them kept growing it and growing it. Don't give me this Republicans are fiscal conservatives. They're not. They're not at all. And Democrats, of course, are not. I say that in a broad brush of the party. Now, I know a lot of Democrats that they don't want their money wasted.
Weeknights at 7 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio.
New evidence China's cover-up directly led to this crisis. January 6th. Senate Republicans opposed the commission. There's no new facts.
News.
What are UFOs?
News coverage.
Something very serious and special is going on.
News on WSGW.
And we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show, brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. You can give Linda a call for your residential or commercial real estate needs at 295-7713. Talking to Danny Vann, old friend of mine, one of the best Elvis interpreters I ever heard in my life. Now speaking out on the cause of foster homes and foster children. So, Danny, Father's Day is coming.
Yes.
You got a happy day?
For fosters, not so much. It as you said earlier, if you've adapted to your situation and you've acknowledged and accepted your foster family, it can be okay, but people that have lost their parents at any stage in life, it's not a happy time. Well, once again, go back to being an infant or a child or an adolescent and having your family ripped apart, and now you're not with your bio parents, and now here comes, let's celebrate Father's Day. My dad wasn't there for me. He didn't love me unconditionally. He didn't support me. He didn't nurture me. He wasn't a good example for me. I couldn't depend on him. Happy Father's Day. Sorry. It's not a good day for me. I mean, not for me personally. I got over it, but it's hard.
So
it's hard.
What about the foster dad? Did they ever replace the biological dad?
I mean, I think you probably know the answer to that. They can't replace, but they can become that figure. They can become that example. Excuse me. I should have hit my mute button. But okay. One of the things that I've been saying for years is that because in my lifetime, Art, I to date have moved 34 times. Before I graduated high school, I moved 15 times, okay? And that includes the kinship care and all the other moves, but all these school systems. So it's just been chaos. My life's been chaos, and I've tried to make sense out of it and turn it into something good and fruitful, right? But I've made the statement for years that to me, home is where my heart feels safe. Mm-hmm. Because I don't have a home to go back to. I don't have all those good memories to go back to. It was traumatic for me to go back to Bay City in my 30s. I hadn't gone back there in all those years. And I had to go face my monster, right? Face the ghost. But my foster parents were awesome. My foster mom was a saint. Listened to all kinds of stuff, put up with mood swings and attitudes. And so, that can be, a good time. But I've created this, try to help people cope. And so I'm writing a second book. It's a good segue maybe to go to that. My second book is going to be focusing, literally called From Chaos to Forgiveness. A journey to freeing yourself from past pain and trauma. Because as I finished my first book, it wound up looking backwards to the point where I arrived at a place of forgiveness. Not forgiveness to the point where, I forgive you, let's go back and try and have our wholesome family that I've always dreamed of. Because I realized that wasn't possible. But to the point of at least acknowledging that parents are people too. They made mistakes. They had things that conditioned them, because you wonder how would an adult treat a kid like this, right? And so you have to deal with all those things. So this whole process of going from the chaos to tolerance to moving past it, putting your own life together, not repeating the cycle, and finally moving into an area of forgiveness is what I've been dealing with over the last couple of years, trying to help others come through that process. And yeah, go ahead.
In the few minutes we have left here, Danny, if you could reinvent the foster care system, what would it look like?
Well, you know, it's morphing into what I think it would look like. It's there's this move afoot, and as I said earlier, especially in Michigan, there's families first programs that come alongside these families that are not just broken, but they're in chaos, and sometimes it isn't always their fault, right? Now, if parents choose drugs because of their stress and their poverty or whatever, they're making bad choices. Somebody could help them try to get out of those if they came along early enough. So to me, the foster care system would look like, let's help those families. Let's get to the root of the problem and try and be more the village for the families that are in trouble before we have to pull these families apart and put the kids in the foster care system. If you have to do that, then I think there needs to be a lot more focus on the kids and what they're going through. As you asked earlier, what makes a good foster parent? Patience, not just patience, but understanding what you're dealing with here. This is not a quote unquote normal child that you've taken into your home. They've been traumatized. You need to help them heal those wounds. You need to help them sort out all these issues that they're dealing with. So those kinds of programs, which are blossoming now, need to be put in more places. There's a handful of states that are doing it, and they're great examples. I've been, in fact, 2 weeks ago, I was on a webinar with Congress and Dr. Ben Carson, who's a great champion for foster care. And I got to tell him my story and the fact that, it's coming alongside these kids that's going to help not repeat the cycle, because that's the other problem is, I don't know what the percentage is, but a lot of these foster kids in our second, third generation foster kids. So their parents were foster kids and their parents were foster kids. So we got to break the cycle and come alongside and be more help to the kids and have that support network for the foster parents.
Well, let's hope that happens. Do you have, or are you part of a support organization?
Yes, I'm out on Facebook. Danny Vann, former foster, trauma survivor is my moniker now. Former foster will find me. I also have a website, DannyVann.com, 2 N's in both names, and I've got a lot of this information out there. I'm trying to help the kids. I'm a mentor with the Wsgw.org organization, YOUSEEYOU.org, and they offer free mentoring to former fosters for life. You cannot age out of their system. UCU.org. They have a 24-hour chat online for kids that want to reach out. I'm also part of Child Help. The Child Help organization, which is there for reporting child abuse, so that we can get these kids and their families help. It isn't just about yanking the kid; it's about identifying where the abuse is right now. Right. So 1-800-4-4-A-CHILD. And like I said, my website has got dozens and dozens and dozens of these links.
Well, Brother Vann, I want to thank you much, Danny, for spending this hour with us this morning. It's a fascinating story.
Thank you.
And when the new book comes out, let's do it again.
From chaos to forgiveness. Let's help people stop the cycle.
All right. Danny, have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you, Art. Good to see you.
Good to see you, my friend.
Okay.
Bye
Take
now.
care. Yep. Bye.
Danny Vann. Danny, a longtime friend of mine and a moving story, to say the least. We're going to take our last break, come back and close out the hour here on the Art Lewis Show.
Prescription products require an only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMSS was our answer. HIMSS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. forhims.com/LOVE.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Call for cost information and conditions. It's an MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
All right. My thanks to Danny Vann for being with us and giving us a kind of a different view, if you will, of the foster care system. News is next.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The White House is warning corporations and businesses about the growing number of ransomware attacks, like the one that shut down operations at the world's largest meat processor this week. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
The letter says the number and size of ransomware significantly, and it says the federal government is stepping up to do its part, including disrupting ransomware networks. But it also says businesses must realize that no company is safe, regardless of its size or location, and it urges them to take it seriously and ensure their defenses match the threat.
New York City's transit system and the Martha's Vineyard ferry were both hit recently. The Minneapolis intersection where George Floyd died reopened to traffic this morning.
Crowds stood in disbelief. Some cried, others chanted George Floyd's name as city crews used bulldozers and other machinery to remove concrete barriers at the site of George Floyd's murder last year. The sign has been since Floyd's killing, as city leaders have squared off with locals about how to reopen the South Minneapolis intersection. Mark Fry for CBS News, Minneapolis.
Weekly unemployment claims dropped to 385,000 last week. Bank rates, Mark Hamrick.
That seasonally adjusted headline number is now below 400,000, which has often been seen as psychologically important during past economic downturns.
Jobless claims have dropped 35% since late April. President Biden is making an all-out push to get 70% of adults at least partially vaccinated against COVID by July 4th. He's promoting pharmacies offering shots and barber shops in Black communities vaccinating customers. The CDC's Dr. Rochelle Walensky tells CBS this morning,
I think what we really understand is that this virus is an opportunist and it will go to places where people are not vaccinated.
Former President Trump held a fireworks display at Mount Rushmore last year, but a federal judge says they're off limits this 4th of July. He's turned down a bid by Governor Kristi Noem to light up the night sky over the stone faces of 4 U.S. presidents, citing environmental and pandemic concerns. Noem says she'll appeal. Supersonic flights. The airline says it'll buy 15 Overture passenger jets from Boom Supersonic to cut transatlantic flying time by 50% for the first time since the Concorde was retired 18 years ago. Thanks to the Concorde, Phil Collins played both the London and Philadelphia Live Aid shows on the same day in 1985. Dow down 180. This is CBS News.
Looking to hire? Indeed will help you speed up the process. They have 135 skills tests to help you find the right candidates faster. Cash credit.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? 990-6271, and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-71 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
Rocket Grab. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the first ever Midland County Cornhole Tournament, presented by Forgotten Man Ministries. The player registration fee is usually $100, but if you go to RocketGrabPlus.com right now, you get yours half off. And the winner of the tournament takes home $1,000. The tournament is taking place at the Eagle Ridge Church of God in Midland. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are always here to give you the killer deals you need. Deals going on right now from Cafe 13, JB's Market, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, Beer Garden, and High Country Jumpers. Half off? You bet. It's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Partly cloudy skies and 63 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A Bay City man is following a shooting last Friday. Police say 50-year-old Tannen Bell shot a 47-year-old Georgia man at Bell's residence in the 600 block of 11th Street around 11:30 p.m. According to witnesses, the men were in an argument. Bell's girlfriend told police the Georgia man shot Bell 20 years ago. The Georgia man has not been identified. Bell produced the firearm, shot the victim in the head, causing a laceration above his eye. Medical staff at McLaren Bay Region Hospital say some bullet fragments lodged in his head. Bell was arraigned Tuesday on charges of assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder and felon in possession of a firearm, plus 2 counts of felony firearm. Bell has a preliminary hearing at June 15th, $500,000 bond. A grand opening will be held Monday for the new Lockwood STEM Center, made possible with help from a $100,000 donation from Hemlock Semiconductor and other community supporters. Located near Hemlock High School, the center will be the new home for robotics and other STEM-related programs for the Merrill, Swan, and Hemlock school districts. Students from K through 12 will use the facility, which will also be home to FIRST robotics teams and serve as an advanced learning space for STEM-related programs. Students will be able to learn STEM education skills such as coding, computer-aided design, 3D printing, and fabrication. Tom Lockwood, Technology Director for Hemlock Schools and a driving force behind getting the center built on space donated by the Hemlock School District. Other top donors for the center include Hemlock Public Schools, the Rollin M. Gerstacker Foundation, Saginaw Control and Engineering, and DuPont's. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Heads up, America. This is Drew Berquist, former U.S. counterterrorism officer, fighting for your freedoms right here at home, which is why you need to join Mammoth Nation. We are America's conservative discount club. Mammoth Nation was created by conservatives for conservatives of all ages. Now you have a safe place to shop that fights against the cancel culture. You get great deals on shopping, wireless, sporting goods, Patriot Gold, and a lot more. We just keep on growing. Cool thing is, proceeds from your membership dues and purchases help to support conservative businesses. Mammoth Nation also supports conservative candidates, military, veterans, law enforcement, and our American way of life. Memberships start at just $19 a year. Go to mammoithnation.com, and if you hurry, you'll get a 30% discount on a lifetime membership. It's time we all took a stand. Shop with companies that want to support America, not destroy it. That's mammoithnation.com. Get on board and become a lifetime member today.
WSGW News Time 10:08. The weather forecast. The government is recommending a prison term for a Detroit area woman who stole more than $440,000 over 30 years by cashing Social Security checks issued to her late grandmother. It's the largest case of Social Security theft in eastern Michigan in more than 5 years, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Andrea Billingsley Jameson pleaded guilty last year to stealing government money, but her sentence has been delayed because of the coronavirus. She's due in federal court July 21st. Billingsley Jameson's attorney acknowledges that the government's loss was substantial, but says prison isn't necessary for the first-time offender. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has an executive directive creating Michigan Internet Office aimed at closing the digital divide in many communities. Here's John Hewitts.
With the stroke of a pen, Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed the executive order creating Michigan's first ever Office of High-Speed Internet, aiming to centralize the effort to close the digital divide between the haves and have-nots, not only here in Detroit, but across the state.
High-speed internet expansion will create thousands of jobs. It'll generate millions in economic activity. It'll uplift rural communities as well as urban communities, and it will help our kids.
Yesterday's ceremony, held at the Boys and Girls Club of Southeast Michigan, was meant to symbolize the more than children said to have lacked access to online instruction during the pandemic. With money available from the American Rescue Plan, the governor says there is a generational opportunity to deliver digital equity.
John Hewitt for the Michigan News Network.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology forecast. Skies will become mostly sunny here for today with a high into the lower 80s. Winds out of the west around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, increasing cloud cover with a low near 61. By 85 degrees. Then by Saturday, mostly sunny skies and breezy, a high around 92. Sunday, mostly sunny, high around 93. Then by Monday, a slight chance for rain showers here late. A blend of clouds and sunshine develops with a high around 92. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 64.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 7. And online, WSGW.com.
And a good morning. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW, a Thursday morning. The show sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. For all of your residential and commercial real estate needs, give Linda Shepard a call, 989-295-7713. Linda Shepard, Pinnacle Realty. Let's talk a little education this morning, and we're going to begin by doing that with someone who represents Bethlehem Lutheran, and we say good morning to Brenda Wilson. Good morning, Brenda.
Hello, Art. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I miss you guys.
Well, we miss you too. And just for clarification, folks, we know Brenda because at one time just a year or two or 3 or 10 or whatever ago, Brenda worked for us here at WSGW. So let's talk about, first of all, what do you do now? What's your responsibilities?
Well, I've been here at Bethlehem. This is my 13th year, and I've been the kindergarten teacher the whole time. Or during the middle of the pandemic, when we first had to shut down in the spring, our principal at the time decided to move on to something different. And so when this year's school year started, they asked us if myself and Mrs. Jane Weiss, another teacher here, would be the interim principals. So I said, sure, how hard can that be during the pandemic, right? And so we did that, and about halfway through the year, I kept hearing from different people about, you're doing really good at this, and this is a job for you, and you should really do this forever. And I was like, no, that's not for me. I'm a kindergarten teacher. But I think God was speaking to me, and I listened, and we decided that this is what I'm going to do. So this is my last year teaching kindergarten, and next year I will be the full-time principal.
Oh, wow. So
I finally figured out what I want to be when I grow up, I think.
Let's talk about, and we have public schools, we have charter schools, we have what I used to call parochial schools, religious schools, if you will. What's their place in society? For example, what does Bethlehem Lutheran represent to society?
I think we're a safe place for children right now. I mean, everything is so unpredictable and so scary for kids and their families right now. And we've just been a rock this year, I think, for our families. We have a faith-based education going on here. We give them all of that they need to continue on and to fight the good fight. And I feel like we're a safe haven for our families at this time during this current climate in the world.
On this current climate in the world, as you put it, how are you doing with staffing?
Actually, our staffing has been amazing. They did such a great job this year. We have not had any problems. We didn't lose any teachers. We lost a few students because they have parents at home that are, medically were not comfortable with their children being in school. And then a few issues that they needed to stay away for a while, but most of those students are coming back next year, so that's awesome. They've already re-registered with us. Our staff has been amazing. They were here all year. They were so creative, Art, seriously, because we had to be. You know what I mean? We had to really figure out how to do things. Mrs. Weiss, who I mentioned earlier, she's also our band director. She found masks that they could wear that had holes in them for the instrument players. I mean, there's just so many different ways that we tried to keep our kids safe, but still doing the things that they're used to. And it worked out really well. I was very proud of them all.
What grade levels do you cover at Bethlehem Lutheran?
We have a Bethlehem Little Stars preschool that is for 3 and 4-year-olds, and 8th grade.
Through 8th grade, then?
Through 8th grade, yes. Yep.
So you don't do, well, that's an odd year it seems like that's an odd year to end.
Yeah, some go up to 9, or some stop at 6. So I mean, it's just different. But ours has been that way almost the whole time we've been here. So
actually, through junior high school, as we used to call it.
Correct. Yep. As we used to call it, our.
Yeah, right, Brenda.
I can say that now. I got my AARP card in the mail the other day.
Oh, good. I'm happy for you.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah, welcome to my world. So let's talk about the financial side of things for schools like Bethlehem Lutheran, where you don't get any public funding. How are the schools financed, and how are you doing financially?
Yeah, we're doing really well this year. We did get a PPP loan, so that was awesome, and that was very helpful. We have this year, we do get a little bit of help from the government for our snacks and food, and this year we were able to qualify for the free snack and lunch program. So every single child in our school was able to have free snack and lunch every day. And so that was a huge help, because it's a sacrifice to send your child to a parochial school and to pay tuition. It's a little rough for a lot of people, so that really helped a lot.
There was a lot of discussion during the pandemic about state mandates on education, where you were mandated to do certain things, but the state didn't want to come forth with any money.
Mm-hmm.
What was the resolve? Was there one?
I don't think so. And, a lot of those mandates we don't have to follow. I mean, we do to some extent, but we can kind of pick and choose our own because we don't get that funding. So we have a little more freedom in that sense. But yeah, it changed so much. It was so crazy. I mean, we literally for the first 3 months held our breaths because we didn't know what was coming down the pike. You know, we didn't know if it was a new restriction. We didn't know if it was a new mandate. Halfway through the year, our little people in preschool had to start wearing masks. And, 3 and 4 year olds in a mask, but they did awesome. They really did great. And honestly, I think our adults, we have more problem with it than the kids do. They adjust very easily. So we were.
So what do you see as the future of schools like Bethlehem Lutheran?
Well, I see us growing. I really do. I see that, a lot of the public schools this year, unfortunately, were not able to be in session in person. And that was hard on a lot of kids. So we did pick up several kids along the year who, they need to be face-to-face. They need that interaction with, not the computer screen. And so I see us growing. I really do. And I've been talking to principals at our other Lutheran schools in the area, and they see the same thing. We're picking up different families here and there. And I think as word gets around that, we were open this whole year and we did as much as we could with as little as we had, I think they're going to be, knocking on our doors. That's what I'm looking for.
Is it, from this point forward, going to be a hybrid kind of education, or is it all in class?
For us, it's all in class. We did have a couple hiccups this year in a couple different classes, and the exposures were, family members that they were exposed to, and so we had to close one class for just 2 weeks, but everyone else, it was just a person or a child here and there, and our teachers, we had everything is on our Google Drive, our Google Classroom for all the teachers, and they had it prepared every week. So if someone went out and they were home and without warning, they could go online, they could find all of their assignments, they could submit all of their assignments online. So we didn't offer that per se. We didn't say you can come here or you can stay home and have your education. But when we needed to, we were prepared for that. And our teachers did an awesome job getting them ready for that.
Do you see any kind of future in online learning?
I do. I see that a lot. I mean, I really do not for us, but for the public schools have really started pushing it. I mean, they're sending out computers to kids. There's different grants that you can get because not everybody has the technology at home that they need. So yes, I do see that. And for some people, it's great. You know what I mean? It works well for them. And I think it works much better for high schoolers. But it's very hard to teach kindergarten online. Very hard to teach kindergarten online.
I think it's very hard to teach kindergarten in class.
Well, that might be true sometimes too.
Well, Brenda, if somebody wants more information on Bethlehem Lutheran School, where do they find it?
Yes, they can call us anytime, 989-755-1144, or they can go to our website, which is bethlehemsaginaw.org, and all of that information is there. Call, ask for me. I'll tell you whatever you need to know. You can come in, have a tour. We have a Facebook page, Bethlehem Lutheran Church and School. So any way that you can reach out to us, we'll be here for you.
And is there any financial assistance available?
There is. We do have financial aid. We have just started, we just opened up that. It's all online now. Everything's online now. Do you notice that?
Yes.
And so I'm learning that part too.
I saw your picture online, and underneath it said principal.
That I know. Hello. And you're like, what? That must be a misprint. Oh, the Lord works in mysterious ways, Art. He really does.
Boy, you got that right. Got that right. Well, Brenda, look, let's chat again down the road, but best of luck with this school year, and let's hope for more normalcy in the future, huh?
That is our prayer. Please tell everyone there I said hi.
You just did.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I did, didn't I?
All right, Brenda, we'll talk to you.
Thanks, Art. See you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
You too. Bye-bye.
Brenda Wilson, principal at Bethlehem Lutheran. We thank her for joining us this morning and telling us a little bit about parochial education. From here on out till 11 o'clock, it'll be open phones for you. Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111. In the state of Michigan, 866-790 WSGW. Outside the state of Michigan, 989-752-6111. We will pause and then be back with a lot of topics to talk about today and your calls. But let me tell you that the Art Lewis Show is sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty in Saginaw. Sellers right now are getting top dollar for their homes, over asking price, with the average of 1 day on the market. Linda Shepard sells faster Buyers are cash or pre-approved. She does not waste any time. Easy to work with, no pressure tactics, several years of experience. Linda's a full-time agent that lives here and sells here, and Pinnacle is not a franchise. So the money stays right here in your community. And buyers, the interest rates are still low. Linda Shepard watches the market closely so clients get a showing fast and have a fighting chance. She'll fight for every offer every time. Call Linda at 989-295-7713. 295-7713. We'll take a break, and we will be back with more on the Art Lewis Show.
I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with a quick tip from H2o Wireless on saving money every month. Start with your recurring monthly bills, and here's the easiest one, your cell phone bill. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge premium rates for unlimited data, when in all actuality, you have no need for that much data. H2o Wireless, on the other hand, is on the exact same network as one of those carriers, but charges you half. The average family of four is saving over $70 a month without having to sacrifice coverage. And listen to this, unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 per month. Swapping out your SIM card, you can keep your phone and your phone number. Here's how to get the best deal. This month, dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. You'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Dial pound 250 and say get H2O for this exclusive offer and start saving today.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy ships, afloat by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
I'm Connell McShane. This is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened lower, though new slipped to a pandemic low last week. There were 385,000 people filing new claims, down 20,000 from the week before. Separately, payroll processing company ADP reported 978,000 new jobs created by private employers last month. The Labor Department releases the May employment report tomorrow. Delta expects to make a profit in the second half of this year. It is seeing demand return for leisure travel and sees continued improvement in transatlantic and business travel. And American sees leisure travel up to 2019 levels or even better this summer. J.M. Smucker is reporting a better than expected quarter from people eating out. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Only T-Mobile for Business uses unconventional thinking to help businesses realize new possibilities, like our WFX solutions, enabled by our nationwide 5G network that help teams stay connected and productive where work happens. We also provide an award-winning customer experience and first-class benefits with every plan. Get unmatched network support and value without any trade-offs at T-Mobile.com/unconventional. Capable device required. Coverage not available in some areas. Some uses may require certain plan or features. See T-Mobile.com.
Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
New evidence China's cover-up directly led to this crisis. January 6th, Senate Republicans opposed the commission. There's no new facts.
News.
What are UFOs?
News coverage.
Something very serious and special is going on.
News on WSGW.
All right, we are back with you on the Art Lewis Show. It's open phones for the remainder of the hour, whatever you would like to chat about. It is COVID vaccination month, a big push to get everybody vaccinated by July 1st. The president had said he wanted 70% of the country vaccinated by then. I've heard various numbers, everywhere from 63% to lower than that in the 50 percentile. I don't know what the correct number is. I would only say, and I know there are people who don't believe in it, don't want to do it. We're not going to change your mind. But for those of you that are on the fence, trying to decide, go do it. Get yourself vaccinated. Many people are there. We have this anti-vax mentality out there that I don't understand in this country. I've talked to people who, I'm not going to get a vaccine. I don't believe that. I don't want vaccines. And so you ask them, did you ever have polio? Did you ever have measles or whooping cough or pertussis or any of those things that we have vaccines for today? Well, no. Well, that's because you were vaccinated when you were a child. Vaccines work. And then there's the argument, well, this vaccine wasn't developed long enough. They did it within a year. That's not true. The fact is that these types of mRNA vaccines, messenger RNA vaccines, have been in the development stage since 2005. They've been working on these. So they had the foundation. All they had to do was adapt it to the current line of virus, which they successfully did. So I don't buy into the argument that it wasn't tested enough, it didn't take long enough. It's taken a long time to get these, particularly the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines are both messenger RNA vaccines, and they are proven to work. So here's your opportunity. And I have to tell you, not because the president says so, because it's the right thing to do for you and your family. That's the reason. All right, let's talk to Lee in Saginaw. Lee, good morning to you.
Morning, Art. How you doing?
We're doing all right.
I just wanted to bring something up. There's quite a few of us not getting it. We're not anti-vaxxers.
Oh, I understand. I understand that.
And there's something else going on. I had the virus, and it was an extremely weak cold in me. People that I know who had it had the same effect that I did. Who got a friend of mine just got his. The COVID was very weak to him, like it was me. But the shot put him down for 5 days, 102.5 fever. And he said he felt like he was dying. He said that was that. He's not getting the second shot.
Well, let's understand, just so we're clear on this.
Right.
Everybody reacts differently.
Correct.
Everyone reacts differently. It's not the same for everybody, and it's an individual decision, and you have to make decisions based on that. If he had already had COVID and had the antibodies, and he got his first shot, even though it laid him out for 5 days, he's still better protected. And the reality is he probably wouldn't have a reaction to the second shot, but that's his choice. And I understand that. And nobody's putting a gun to anybody's head and saying, you have to get vaccinated.
No, my wife, she had COVID. She had it almost a year after I did. And it put her down hard. She got the vaccination.
Mm-hmm.
Because of her medical condition, her doctors felt it was warranted and that she should get it.
Yep.
So I'm not saying you shouldn't get the vaccination. I'm just saying some of us who are not getting it, we're doing a lot of studies right now showing that we may have extended T-cell immunity.
Yeah, it's
for quite a while.
Right, it's possible. I mean, all that's true.
So,
antibodies are present because you've had the COVID. I understand, and listen, there are exceptions to every rule. And there are exceptions to vaccines too. Not everybody should get one. I understand that. But as a general principle, as a society, it behooves us to get as many people vaccinated as possible who can be.
No, I understand that. My point was just that, like I said, a lot of us, when I tell somebody you're an anti-vaxxer. No, I'm not. I get my flu shot. I was in the Army. I've been vaccinated from every dang thing. Anybody's in the military, you know how many vaccinations you get.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't mean to indicate that everybody who's refusing or doesn't want to get the COVID vaccine is an anti-vaxxer. I probably should have used better terminology, because it is an individual situation. But I do know people who just are anti-vaxxers, won't get a vaccine for any reason. But when you talk to them, you find out they've been vaccinated all their life. They just don't want to admit it, So,
right.
Anyway, listen, I appreciate it. Glad you're doing well.
Thanks, Art.
Yep. Thanks for calling. Take care. Bye-bye now. And I'm not sure, guys. Do we have another Lee from Saginaw on the phone? I see 2 Lees there. All right, let's take Lee number 2. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm calling about the lake situation up north, at Wixom, Sanford and all that. I didn't know if anybody had any more information on that. I have heard rumors that some of the congressmen and that are stepping it up and trying to get some more things done. But
the story, there was a story out, I want to say it was yesterday, but I'm not positive. The Michigan delegation, that is House of Representatives and Senators, are trying to get the federal government to cough up some money to help reestablish those dams, and not just rely on the locals to do it. How successful they're going to be, we don't know yet. But there was a story, I think it was yesterday, that they were petitioning the government to cough up some bucks. We'll see what happens.
yeah, well, I know originally the cost was higher. Then they come back a few months ago and cut it down considerably to what it was.
Yeah, I think the original numbers were like 330 million or something like that, and they've drastically reduced that. But who knows what it'll actually cost? I don't know. I've heard too many numbers.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, every time you turn around, it's got a different value on it, So
Yeah, in different time frames and everything. And last I heard, Wixom would be 2026, where I have a place.
Yeah,
so
were you on the lake? Was your house? Were you lakefront?
Yes.
What's it look like now?
My first impression when I went up there after it happened, it looked like a World War I battlefield.
Yeah.
Where our docks were. You looked up and down, and all the dead stumps have been there for 100 years and stuff. It looked just like a battle, World War I battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a little different now because you got 4-foot poplars growing everywhere.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because there was a notion put forth by the current owners of the dams, that group that was put together.
The Four Lakes Task Force.
Four Lakes Task Force. They were espousing the notion of taxing the homeowners to pay for it, to which I said, seems like you're hitting somebody when they're down. They just lost their property value, in some cases lost their property, and now you want to tax them. I found that unconscionable. So as a homeowner with frontal property, would you be willing to pay something?
Oh, yeah. Originally, before the flood happened, they were talking about $240 extra a year to repair them all. And everybody kind of was okay with that.
Yeah. Too little, too late.
But, yeah. But, I went in front of did it online, but the township in March and the tax hearings. And they said, well, they kept passing it to Gladwin County, and Gladwin County would say it'd be the township. So what happened was, long story short, my tax is reduced by $40.
$40, that's it right now, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I said, well, I've lost a lot of value in the property.
Yeah.
Well, we lowered them $40. So instead of, I don't know, the summer one's $1,900, $60.
Yeah, great. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meantime, you're licking your wounds. All right. Well, listen, Lee, I appreciate the information. We thank you for joining us this morning. And good luck with it.
Okay, you take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye now. A quick break, and then we'll be back. We'll get to, looks like Jake in Shields. We will, when we return.
Bell Tire has the lowest tire price, period. As in end of sentence. But then you've got a guy who just keeps going. With free lifetime flat repairs, tire rotations, and alignment checks. More free services to get more out of your tires and more for your money. Which is how we make the lowest tire price feel. So come see your guy at Bell Tire today. Any day, every day. For the lowest tire price, period. And more. Bell Tire.
Have you heard about all the benefits of joining DCECU? The great rates, the member give back. Membership sounds amazing. Too bad you're not eligible, right? Wrong. It's easier than ever to join.
I thought only immediate family of DCECU members could get in, but I was wrong. My Uncle Earl is a member, so now I can be a member too.
I'm eligible through my support for community organization. No, that was possible.
I didn't realize that employees of nearly 100 companies can join DCECU. I was able to become a member because I work for one of them.
If you're not a member, you can be. Find out how at dcecu.org/join. Membership eligibility required. While member give-back rebates and rewards occur with great regularity, this credit union benefit is not guaranteed. Not all loan and deposit products are eligible for member give-back consideration. Some limitations apply. Insured by NCUA.
I'm Dr. Baker, an ER physician. If you're having leg pain, swelling, or redness, don't wait. This could be deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to your lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort or difficulty breathing and be deadly. Your symptoms can mean something serious, so don't wait. Talk to a doctor right away, by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If you are anything like me, you're tired of being cooped up and want to travel. Good news! I invite you to June of 2022 for a wonderful trip to the Colorado Rockies. In cooperation with Collette Vacations, this journey will take us to Denver for the start of our tour. Highlights include Denver, Rocky Mountain National Park, Colorado National Monument, Grand Junction, Canyonlands National Park, Dead Horse Point State Park, Arts National Park, Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, Mesa Verde National Park, the Royal Gorge Railroad, and Garden of the Gods. We'll fly from Detroit Metro with shuttle. Cost of this June 17th, 2022 9-day tour is $32.29 per person, double occupancy, and includes air and ground transportation, 13 meals, all hotels and sightseeing. Book now and save $200 a person. For a color brochure, email your address to artlewis@wsgw.com. Let's hit the road together again. It's about time.
On air and online from the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW. Back to our phones. Jake is in Shields. Jake, good morning to you.
Good morning, Arthur. I got an off-the-beat question, but have you ever had anybody in there that addresses this title theft problems?
We have not had a guest on it. No, I've heard commercials for various protections that are available, but we've not had anybody on to talk about it. It's an idea.
I've always gotten. I get concerned about this because I got a big investment in a home here that's totally paid for. And it looks to me like it's a crime without any punishment. You know, there ought to be something. I mean, if somebody takes my title, puts their name on it, and goes to a bank, I would think the onus would be on the bank to verify that it's a factual transaction.
Well, and that may be true to a degree, because if they pass, for example, a fraudulent check, they have to make you whole. But here, the real problem here is finding out who the person was that did it and holding them accountable.
Well, they got to be the person who receives whatever largesse there is from the action.
Yeah, but then you got to go find them and determine how they did it. That's my point. The accountability and the law is there. I mean, it's illegal to do it. It's fraud. It's financial fraud. It's forgery. There's a whole bunch of crimes that are involved.
Well, the point that it sounds like to me, and you listen to Bill O'Reilly, he's pushing it. Newt Gingrich now is pushing it, and you got all kinds of advertisements for this thing.
Yeah.
And basically, they're saying it's basically a crime without a punishment because no one's responsible.
Well, okay,
for
let's understand something.
Yeah.
They're paid spokesmen to sell that protection.
Sure.
So, as much as I like them and all of that, that's not the point. The point is they're paid spokesmen to say what the sponsor wants them to say. I don't get your factual information out of that kind of a commercial. You got to do a little further research. I suspect anybody that gets caught doing it, that there's a criminal liability. The question is catching them.
If you get caught.
If you get caught, that's the thing. If you get caught, and that's what these companies are telling you, that they can protect you from that. So that's what they're selling.
Well, I don't think that's actually. I don't receive it in that manner. I don't think that they're protecting us. They're basically saying, "Oh yeah, somebody changed the name on your title," but who knows? It could have been a month ago. It could have been 2 months ago.
Yeah, but if they don't.
My only question to you is, what is it possible you can get a real estate attorney on there to maybe clarify this? That whole deal?
We will try and do that. We will try and do that, and I know who to call.
Oh, you're the man.
We'll do it. All right.
All right. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate it. Thanks for calling, Jake. Bye-bye now. And also in Shields is Mike this morning. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Howard. I had a phone call this morning, and I thought I'd bring it up to, I guess it's a warning to people. Somebody calling saying that there's an outstanding warrant and for misusing your name or anyway, something like that. And I know that the police don't do stuff on the phone like that.
No, it's and I can't tell you how many times a day my phone rings in the house here from scammers trying to either sell something or threaten me with something. And I'm on the do not call list, and I'm going, hey, what?
I am too, but it doesn't do.
They don't care. And they don't come in, you get this, you get this spoofed thing on your phone that doesn't look anything like anybody else's phone number.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that too, where it sounds like, some local calling it that.
Yep. You're better off just hanging up.
Oh yeah. And it's just ridiculous, but I just get so tired of that crap, and
well, the shame of it though, Mike, the real shame of it. Somebody's fallen for it, because they wouldn't be doing it if they weren't making money. And here's the thing about it. And most of the calls that I get seem to come from a foreign country. Here's the thing about it. If you talk, for example, to politicians who do robocalls, they will tell you that maybe they get response from 1%, but they do thousands and thousands of robocalls. That 1% is a healthy number.
Yeah.
And it's a sad commentary that they're successful at it. So I'll tell you, the other thing is that, we're hearing all about these ransomware attacks on industry all across the country. The sad commentary is they're making money on it because people are paying them, because it's easier to pay them and get your files back than go through the expense of trying to do it another way. They know the soft spot, and that's too bad, because the more we pay them, the more they're going to do it. So,
I wish that this country would get, hot on, blocking some of these.
You bet. We got to get tough on them.
Because if they ever hit the power grids, we're in deep.
They probably already have, All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
take care, Mike.
Talking to you, my friend. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Doug, hang on. We'll get to you right after this break on the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back after these notes.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter. Hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right. Free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect. Receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
My mom is a breast cancer survivor. The United Breast Cancer Foundation saved her life. Their free breast cancer exam caught the cancer early, and that saved her life. But now the foundation needs your help. So they free or low-cost breast screening exams, saving more women's lives. Help them by donating your car, whether it's running or not. They'll provide fast, free 24-hour pickup, and you receive a charitable tax deduction, plus the great feeling you'll get knowing your donated car is going to help save more lives. Just call 800-814-07. Wheels in Motion. They take cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs, running or not. Call 800-814-0756. The United Breast Cancer Foundation needs your help, and your donation could literally save women's lives, helping them catch breast cancer early, like they did with my mom. Donate today. 800-814. That's 800-814-0756.
Tom Sullivan, weeknights at 7 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back on the Art Lewis Show, continuing on with more calls. We have Doug in Caucaland up next. Doug, good morning.
Morning, Art. How are you doing this morning?
We're doing all right, sir. Hope you are too.
Good. Hey, I got a question for you. This deal with the license bureau and everything, boy, that's kind of a big problem, I would say. I don't know what's going on with it. I talked to Jim Barsha for a little bit last night. He was going to make some calls and see what's going on with it.
Well, what's going on is they're going to an appointment-only format, and they're going to. They say they're going to expand it into all of their SOS offices, where you will have to make an appointment beforehand, either online or by phone, and there won't be any just plain walk-ins. I don't know how well it's going to work. I have to be honest now. The last 2 times that I've gone to a Secretary of State's office, I made appointments up front, and it was pretty slick because I walked in there and in 2 or 3 minutes, I was being served. But I don't know how it's going to work when that's the only way to do it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I've talked to. I just got a different vehicle here last month, and I got. Of course, they give you a temporary plate, and that's expired now. You want to go somewhere, but you're kind of afraid to go, and I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
I know young, I've really done
I think I would get online and try and make an appointment. And if you can't get one right away, if you get stopped, I think there's going to be a certain allowance, if you will, until this system gets up and running efficiently. That's a guess.
Well, they already got my money for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Don't have a point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just to check and see. You know, you guys keep up.
Well, we'll see if we can do some more on it. It's worth trying to get the Secretary of State on the air to see if she can talk more about it. Good questions. All right.
Okay.
Good
enough.
enough.
Appreciate it. You have a good day. Enjoy your program.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate you calling. And we're going to move on to Saginaw now, and we find Joanne waiting for us. Joanne, good morning.
Good morning.
Yep, go ahead.
Art, I know a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, that we discussed some of Bill O'Reilly's books.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that I have a copy of Old School. And you said that you hadn't read that one yet, but I was just wondering if you would like my copy.
Well, I would be happy to read it. You don't want to give it away, though.
I do. It's in my car here. I'm making a trip to Hobby Lobby in a few days, and I thought I'd drop it off at the station if you'd like.
Okay, well, here's the thing about the station right now. The building is closed. What you would have to do, I'll tell you what you do. You can ring the bell at the front door, and somebody will come out and get it from you. I just put my name on it.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll do that then.
All right, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks.
I wasn't sure if you had got a copy of it yet, but
No, I hadn't.
You want to read that?
Yeah, I'm still working my way through the Killing the Mob book. I'm almost done, but yeah, I'd like to. He's a good writer. I like his style. It's easy to read. So
he is. Yep. He is. I picked up a couple of his killing series at the Bay City Antiques Mall the other day. And
good deal.
Looking forward to those. Yes. So many books, too little time. Right?
Yes. All right, Joanne. I appreciate it.
Then.
Thank you, dear. Take
You're
care.
welcome.
Bye-bye now. Last caller is going to be Chris in Saginaw. Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
We're doing well.
And you remember now, if you want your Euro, the Father's Day weekend drive-through, you know?
And that's what it's going to be, the drive-through, right?
That's right, Friday and Saturday.
All right.
Listen, Art, on the licenses, getting license for vehicles.
Yep.
I know you probably mentioned them, but when I get my tabs, I go to Kroger's. They got and it works great. You go in there and type in the information, and you get your license tabs, and you're ready to go.
Yeah, for tabs. He doesn't have a plate, though. He needs the physical plate.
Okay.
That was the difference.
But I think that's probably going to be the future.
There will be more kiosks like that, probably.
Yeah.
And it is convenient. I've always done mine by mail and never had a problem with it. But it's
so have I.
Yeah, and listen, COVID has changed everything, and the future is going to look different. So we go from here.
You're right.
We go from here.
I hope you haven't have to buy any meat. Okay.
Yeah. Hold on to your hat. All right, Chris.
Ribeye, $20 a pound.
Yeah.
Okay?
Good luck with it.
Take it easy, Art.
I'll be eating less red meat for a while. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Take it easy.
Take care. Bye-bye now. How was your sleep last night? We're asked to do more for less in this world, so when you go to bed, you spend a third of your life there, you need quality sleep. You can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. Now, you can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you are using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent, and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. And they feature 1-hour window delivery of your mattress to your home. You have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress for you, something the box stores can't do. Visit Sanitary Mattress Factory and Showroom, serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call them at 1757. Back to close out after these notes.
The Salvation Army of Bay City is happy to sponsor the first ever kettle cruise. It starts at Smith Park on Burn Street in Essexville. All the proceeds from this event are going to special projects funded by the Salvation Army. Lineup and display starts at 11:30, and then the cruise sets off at 12:30 and ends at the Bay City Mall parking lot. And the cost to participate with your own car is only $10. Call the Bay City Salvation Army for registration and details. We'll see you at Smith Park this Saturday for the first ever kettle cruise.
I struggled with symptom stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being sure about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the first ever Midland County Cornhole Tournament, presented by Forgotten Man Ministries. The player registration fee is usually $100, but if you go to RocketGrabPlus.com right now, you get yours half off. And the winner of the tournament takes home one. The tournament is taking place Saturday, June 26th at the Eagle Ridge Church of God in Midland. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
All right, that'll do it for today. We thank you for joining us on the Art Lewis Show. I will be off tomorrow, but I'll be back with you Saturday morning. Our cardiologist, Dr. Eric Swetelich, will be with us to answer your questions about your heart's health. But again, I'll be off tomorrow. Be back on the main program on Monday. Stick around now. We have CBS News coming up, and then the local report with Michael Perchip, bringing you up to date on everything happening in the region and the state. And we'll talk to you on Focus right after the news.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Steve Kathan. Court action in Florida today after a wild police shootout.
My direction, stand by.
The sheriff's deputies captured it on body cam video, and this morning a 12-year-old boy went before a judge.
You are charged with armed burglary of a dwelling. You're also charged with attempted first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer.
Judge Michael Orfinger in Daytona Beach.
I'm going to order that you be held in secure detention for 21 days or until further order of the court.
Authorities say it all happened when the boy and a 14-year-old girl fled from a juvenile home, broke into a house, and found guns. The girl is hospitalized after being... A letter to corporate execs and business leaders, the White House warns security measures have to be stepped up to prevent against ransomware attacks. CBS's Cameron McCormick.
The letter says with the size and number of these attacks increasing significantly, businesses must do their part to protect themselves, no matter their size or location. It urges them to back up data and keep those backups offline, to update and patch systems regularly, check on their security teams, and come up with response plans.
Well, not in Minneapolis, where WCCO Radio's Mark Fry tells us the intersection where George Floyd was killed last year has been reopened to traffic.
Concrete barriers that were surrounding the intersection
coming through here over the last year have been removed. Crews from the City of Minneapolis Public Works are installing lane dividers in between some of the lanes here that are a little obstructed by some of the memorials here. They will not be removing those. Asking why, they said because they are not theirs to remove.
Well, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky tells CBS This Morning the administration's doing all it can to reach a July 4th vaccination goal. Right now, 63% of adults have had at least one shot.
We want to get the majority of America vaccinated, and after we get to 70%, my goal is going to be to get to 80%. I think what we really understand is that this virus is not the places where people are not vaccinated.
Claims for jobless benefits have tumbled below 400,000 for the first time in the pandemic. The government says 385,000 people applied last week. Bankrate.com's Mark Hamrick.
All of this comes before release of the monthly employment report. Economists are looking for about 600,000 or so jobs added to payrolls, with the unemployment rate falling below 6%.
Right now on Wall Street, the Dow is up 8 points. NASDAQ is down 81. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No way. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
Join the millions switching to Spectrum Mobile and you could save up to 40%. Nationwide 5G is included with every plan, and there are no added taxes or fees, plus no contracts. And for a limited time, get up to $300 off a new Samsung 5G phone with trade-in when you switch to Spectrum Mobile. Visit a Spectrum store near you or go to SpectrumMobile.com today. Savings based on comparison of single-line comparable unlimited plans amongst major national carriers as of 1/27/2021. Data usage limits vary by carrier. Spectrum internet required. Services not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Want to know how to nail down and give yourself a concrete advantage in a competitive industry? Become a certified lead abatement professional. Learn how to remediate lead safely and help Michigan families get lead out of their homes. Here's the drill. If you work in construction, you're eligible for the training. Whether you're a painter, plumber, carpenter, electrician, or other tradesperson. With just 3 days of training, you can become a certified lead abatement worker. With 4 days of training, you can become a certified lead abatement supervisor. So give yourself a competitive edge while you help Michigan families. Learn more about lead abatement training at michigan.gov/lead workforce. That's michigan.gov/lead workforce. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the first ever Midland County Cornhole Tournament, presented by Forgotten Man Ministries. The player registration fee is usually $100, but if you go to RocketGrabPlus.com right now, you get yours half off. And the winner of the tournament takes home $1,000. The tournament is taking place Saturday, June 26th at the in Midland. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Partly cloudy skies and 65 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. MDOT has announced 2 new mill and fill projects in Bay City. Both will focus on Euclid Avenue from Salzburg Road to North Union Road after securing nearly through budget savings. The project will be done in 2 parts, Salzburg to Fisher and then Fisher to North Union Road. Work is expected to be done in 2 weeks through late July and early August. All 5 lanes of Euclid will be paved at the same time in an effort to keep the roadway under the same maintenance schedule going forward. Frankenmuth police and fire crews responded around 2:20 yesterday afternoon after a U.S. postal vehicle reported on the side of the road on fire. An eyewitness claims that the carrier had escaped the vehicle near South Jarrah Road and East Town Line. The mail truck had struck a tree and caught fire. The carrier was taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators are still determining the cause of the crash. The mail truck and its contents were a total loss. The Central St. Mary's Field Neurosciences Institute will be offering free helmets to promote safe biking today. The drive-through giveaway will run from 4 to 7 p.m. in the southeast parking lot of St. Mary's Health Center at 4599 Town Center Road in Saginaw Township. A 10-year study by the Center for Injury Research found that from January 2006 to December 2015, more than 2.2 million children ages 5 to 17 years old were treated in U.S. emergency rooms for bike-related injuries. To prevent brain, spinal cord, and other traumatic injuries found in the study, Central St. Mary will be providing free bike helmets for children ages 1 through 15. A June 24th event will also be done in St. Mary's downtown Saginaw Hospital. Quantities are limited, and helmets are provided on a first-come, first-served basis. Children receiving their helmet must be present to ensure they're in the correct size. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. In thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis, call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option. We'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
WSGW News Time 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. Republicans and some Democrats in the Michigan House have passed a bill that would ban government-required COVID-19 vaccine passports, even though they do not exist and no legislative effort is being made to utilize them. The bill's wording says it would ban vaccine passports or any other system where individuals' civil rights are diminished by their COVID-19 vaccination status. The measure must first be approved by the Senate and signed by Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Whitmer's spokesman, Bobby Letty, says that instead of collaborating on methods to promote vaccines and save lives, Republicans are wasting time trying to ban something that doesn't exist. Supporters of the bill say they are concerned that one day the governor may consider vaccine mandates. Get ready, race fans. Michigan International Speedway is opening to grandstands. Here's Michigan News Network's Jim Matthews.
They'll be putting the pedal to the metal in August, as it'll be the first time in 2 years the fans will be allowed to visit the 2-mile track in Brooklyn. MIS will open the grandstands and the campgrounds with full capacity for the NASCAR Firekeepers Casino 400 race weekend coming up August 20th through 22nd. NASCAR officials say they're working closely with Oakland state health officials and will adjust the health and safety protocols as needed. But for now, it looks like there will be no mask requirements or other restrictions. Tickets start at $39 for the race coming up August 22nd, and you can find a campsite, families and friends, starting for less than $200. Jim Matthews, Michigan News Network.
The Labor Day Mackinac Bridge Walk will return this year now that all crowd size restrictions outdoors have been removed. The Mackinac Bridge Authority says plans are moving forward on its website unless plans change again at the state level. The walk was not held last year because of the pandemic. 30,000 people took part in the walk in 2019. This year's walk will be held September 6th. WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology forecast. Skies will become mostly sunny here for today with high into the lower 80s. Winds out of the west around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, increasing cloud cover with a low near 61. By Friday, sunshine, high of 85 degrees. Then by Saturday, mostly sunny skies and breezy, high around 92. Sunday, mostly sunny, high around 93. And by Monday, a slight chance for rain showers late. A blend of clouds and sunshine clouds with a high around 92. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Fucci with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 66.
Now, it's time to focus. as WSGW presents people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is brought to you by Northeastern Home Decorating Centers in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply, serving you since 1959.
And a good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW. I'm Art Lewis, and today we're going to talk about a program at the Midland Jail called the Forgotten Man's Ministry. And with us to talk about it, and you can actually see him on our video feed, we say good morning to the Reverend Michael DeRuyter, who is in the studio this morning. Good morning, Reverend.
Oh, good morning, Art. It's great to be here.
Great to see you, too. Sorry I'm not in the same building, but we can see each other anyway.
That's right.
At least I hope they have a monitor turned so you can see me.
They do, and it's working great.
Great. So let's talk about this program. I think probably we need to start with a little bit of an overview about the Forgotten Man Ministry and how it came about.
Yeah, so Forgotten Man Ministries exists in the state of Michigan since about 1966. We've been around in the state for quite a while. And we serve about 35 counties doing jail chaplaincy in each one of those counties. And so in Midland, we're a little bit newer. We've only been in Midland since about 2018. And we come into the jail as the chaplaincy program, and we help the sheriff implement whatever program they would like to have. So we coordinate with other groups that come in and all the work of sort of conducting ministry.
Can you give us a little history of the title, Forgotten Man?
Yeah. I was thinking about that just the other day. I was the word forgotten is just really evocative, and
that's why I asked.
Yeah. And I think it comes from two different directions. So one direction, I was just having a conversation the other day with an inmate, and it's a young man. He's been in the Midland jail for quite some time. And he said, all of the people that I thought would be there for me when I was incarcerated, I thought there would be people who would be writing me letters, and they promised me that they would call me on the phone, and promised me that they would do visits and come and see me, and I thought they would be there for me, and they're not one of them has shown up. And then he said, and it's just starting to settle in to me the idea that the world is moving on, and I'm just sitting here. And then he said these words. He said, "I feel totally forgotten." And I thought to myself, "That's it. That's why we're here." And I could look at him and say, "I can assure you that you are not forgotten, and we're standing with you." So from the perspective of an inmate, the feeling of being forgotten while the world moves on is really strong and pervasive. But then from the community, right? The jail population is often just a forgotten population. You might see homeless people, or you might see single mom. You'll see reminders of other populations that have needs. But
I have to ask this question. I don't mean to step on toes, but I got to ask the question.
Yeah.
Is that not part of the punishment?
Yeah,
you committed a crime.
Yeah.
You're paying the price, and that's part of the price.
Yeah. So when I have conversations with the jail administration, they'll say something to me like, our job is to keep the inmates here and to keep them safe, right? We want them safe and secure. And being here and being stripped of identity and personal, all of the things that sort of make us who we are, all of that stuff is lost. And then they'll say, but your job and the job of the counselors and the other support folks that are here, your job is to invest in these folks in ways so that they don't have to come back here.
Yeah.
Right. And so, there's certainly some corrective punishment or constraining that has to happen. But we also want to think about how do we put the person on a different trajectory so they're not coming. Exactly.
I understand. Hang on, I've got to take a quick break here. We're talking to Reverend Michael DeRuyter about the Forgotten Man Ministry at the Midland Jail and elsewhere in the state of Michigan. We'll be back with more after these notes.
We're more than a custom paint store. We have everything you need. From carpet to lighting, it's all here. With quality and satisfaction guaranteed. Northeastern Paint, home decoration center.
Since 1959, count them, that's 62 years. Northeastern Paint Supply has been serving the Tri-Cities. We have the most knowledgeable staff in the area, offering you the highest quality products in the industry. Edgemore Paints, Hunter Douglas Blinds, hotel and kitchen lighting, flooring from Flooring America, fireplace doors, gas log, and custom-made rugs. It's all here under one roof. Northeastern Paint Supply, Saginaw and Bay City.
Northeastern Paint, home decoration center.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of pay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Join the millions switching to Spectrum Mobile and you can save up to 40%. Nationwide 5G is included in every plan, and there are no added taxes or fees, plus no contracts. And for a limited time, get $300 off a new Samsung 5G phone trade-in when you switch to Spectrum Mobile. Visit a Spectrum store near you or go to SpectrumMobile.com today. Savings based on comparison of single-line comparable unlimited plans on major national carriers as of 1/27/2021. Data usage limits vary by carrier. Spectrum Internet required. Services not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just a click of a button. No mask, no host, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
You're in the Phone Specialist Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you, talking to the Reverend Michael DeRuyter, who is in the studio this morning. Reverend, I have to ask this. I mean, in this Judeo-Christian world we live in, and we'll include Muslims in that too, religions try and teach us the difference between right and wrong. Do these young men you come in contact with come into the system without that religious background? How many of them are spiritual in their nature?
Yeah. So there's a mixture. I would say increasingly, I hear stories of people who say things like, I had a grandma who took me to church when I was a little boy, or I had an aunt who used to take me to Sunday school. But more and more, I'm in a position of telling people the stories of the Bible for the first time in their life, where they have absolutely no background at all.
And, unfortunately, as we look at surveys around the country, it's more and more prevalent, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. And I think even people who have some, vestige in their backgrounds in their early childhood or in their early, youth years, they don't always know what to do with it, right? So you might have a religious experience that has a lot of content and a lot of information. but not a lot of community support or a lot of sort of the relationships that I think actually transfer the benefits of belonging to a faith community, right? The things like resilience, places to practice things like forgiveness, and all of those pieces that help us navigate society. If you're lacking that, it can be a challenge.
Is there a way to track your impact on these young men?
Yeah, so full disclosure, I've been doing this particular role for about 6 months, and so I personally don't have time, haven't had time to observe that, and so things like recidivism rates and so forth across our counties, we can measure a fairly significant impact on recidivism. But locally, my measurement has tended to be more personal. So just knowing individual stories of people who, after a lengthy incarceration are released and then have the opportunity to get housing and get a job and maybe to be reunified with kids or a spouse or family members. And so the stories are more the measurement for me at this point.
Are these young men willing to sit down and talk to you, though? They want to hear what you have to say.
They're hungry for somebody who will sit down, look them in the eye, listen to their story. I told my wife the other night that I try to be the person in their life who shows up. And I don't expect anything from them. I don't have anything that I'm asking from them. I don't need anything from them. And they just get to be who they are. And it can be a fairly emotional experience. For somebody for both of us. They come into the visiting space, and you might on the outside see a fairly hard, tattooed, intimidating individual, and within a few minutes of talking, there are tears on the cheeks, and talking about how much they miss their family.
Well, I think part of that is society, for whatever reason. I don't think it's conscious. I think it's unconscious. But society tends to dehumanize them. We tend to, forget that, well, they may have done something against the wishes of society. They're still people.
That's right.
They're humans.
That's right. And there's a huge challenge to not, in their own mind, to not define themselves based on what they've done in the past, but to try to define themselves according to who they want to be in the future.
How's the organization funded? Or is it all volunteer, or how does it work?
Yeah. So Forgotten Men Ministries is a chaplain-led volunteer ministry, and so we utilize a huge swath of volunteers in all of our jails who come in and lead the groups and do the Bible studies and do the visits, distribute books and Bibles. And we don't take any money at all from any county budget. So all of our funding comes from businesses, congregations, supporters, families of people who have been incarcerated and have seen and experienced the impact and the difference that can make. So we depend on the community for that.
You're church affiliated?
We are not particularly as a ministry. We have and that's one of the things I'm really excited about is in a culture that's filled with divisions and divisiveness, and where we really like to highlight the differences. This is a place that churches of all different kinds, all different brands and stripes, and can come together and have a shared ministry and shared mission.
Do you have a church as an individual?
Until this new position, I was the lead pastor of a church in Midland, and I held that position for about 18 years. And so we've actually had the delightful opportunity to be looking around for a new church home as we do this.
So you're doing this full time right now?
I'm doing this full time.
Wow.
This is my job.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting. Well, we ought to chat again down the road and see how well it's doing. And I wish there were a way to really know the impact. It would be interesting to hear from some of these young men after they're out and after they rejoin society.
Yeah, they're great stories.
Oh, I bet they are. I bet they are. Well, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it.
It's a delight. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. We'll do it again. Reverend Michael DeRuyter, he is the chaplain at the Midland Jail for the Forgotten Man Ministries, and we thank him for being with us. We'll be back to close out after these notes, and let me take a moment to talk to you about Krzyak's House Family Restaurant. Proud to be a business that serves this area with the finest in dining and takeout services and in dining services. Great for all of you who have supported them. They look forward to serving all of you once again. Every day is Takeout Day at Krizak's. Today from 11 to 7, Friday and Saturdays from 11 to 8. Krizak's House Family Restaurant at the corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side. For takeouts and reservations for parties and events, call 894-5531. Krizak's, remember they're closed Mondays, and if you're looking for work, I'll bet you they might have some. Krizak's House. We'll be back after these notes.
The Salvation Army of Bay City is happy to sponsor the first ever kettle cruise. It starts at Smith Park on Burn Street in Essexville. All the proceeds from this event are going to special projects funded by the Salvation Army. Line up display starts at 11:30, and then the cruise sets off at 12:30 and ends at the Bay City Mall parking lot. And the cost to participate with your own car is only $10. Call the Bay City Salvation Army for registration and details. We'll see you at Smith Park this Saturday for the first ever kettle cruise.
Social Security. You've spent your entire working life paying into it. So don't you want to get the most out of it? Squeezing it for all it's worth? Jason and Carl Kreider and the team at Great Lakes Investment Advisors can show you ways to do that with their free Social Security report. It's a great first step to learn how your Social Security benefits can play a role in your overall retirement income plan, especially because the Social Security Administration isn't able to give advice. Get your free Social Security report from Great Lakes Investment Advisors at greatlakesoffers.com/security. That's greatlakesoffers.com/security. And for more on retirement planning, tune in to Jason and Carl Financial Empower Hour every Sunday morning at 8. Firm offers insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
It's the sound of a good deal. That's music to your ears.
It's new, the newly enhanced XT2 series tractors from Cub Cadet. These lawn tractors have always set the standard for performance and comfort. Now get more strength, versatility, with a strong Kawasaki engine delivering reliable power to tackle your yard, plus a 42-inch heavy-duty fabricated Aeroforce deck cutting system delivering a best-in-class cut with fewer clumps, finer clippings, and increased evenness. The tough torque hydrostatic transmission delivers no shifting. Just push the pedal and go. See the new Cub Cadet Enhanced XT2 Series tractors today at Woolfiles, Ace Hardware, 5818 State Street, Saginaw, where customer service still exists.
It's the sound of a good deal. That's music to your ears.
The Focus Show on WSGW, brought to you by Northeastern Paint Supply in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply, serving you since 1959.
And that'll do it for Focus today. We thank you for joining us. We thank the Reverend Michael DeRuyter for being with us. And I'll be off tomorrow. Be back with you Saturday morning, and then we'll be back with Focus on Monday. All ahead. Stick around now for Terry Henny's Farm Report. That comes along after these notes.
Start your summer off right at United Financial Credit Union. From summer fun to summer savings, United Financial has everything you need to play big and save big all summer long. Looking for a new financial institution? We can help. It's easy to make the switch. Need money for a vacation? We can help. With personal loans as low as 4.99% APR and auto loans as low as 1.9%. Let United Financial help you with all of your financial needs so you can enjoy your summer. Not a member? Why not? It's never been easier to switch your accounts and become a member at United Financial, where we put you first. Stop in or visit our website for details.
Rates subject to change. APR equals annual percentage rate. Some restrictions apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by NCUA.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union. Serving the Valley community.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Get more miles on the road with O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system means better gas mileage for your car. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $8. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. For a clean system, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Fly ball to left, way back and gone. Jonathan Scope into the upper deck in left field. Second home run of the game.
The Tigers play 7:50 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW. Now, the only locally produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henney and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Not all that bad out there. Partly sunny skies, 66 degrees at the airport. It is 63 here at Radio Center. Downtown Midland is looking at 64. Downtown Bay City is currently at 65. As we go through the day, that southwest breeze, about 7 miles per hour, is going to continue to pull a little bit more in the way of humidity up toward us. We're currently at 78%. You take a look at some of the locations in southeast Michigan, they're looking at mostly cloudy skies and temperatures about where we are. Then you drop down into northern parts of Ohio, as well as then into much more of Ohio and into Pennsylvania. They're getting some rain shower activity. In just a couple of minutes, we'll be talking to Chris Weiler at the Andersons, and he'll tell us just how much rain that he's gotten in his rain gauge. You take a look at the rain gauges around here. Very sketchy, if anything at all. I was kind of surprised when I saw that the Frankenmuth area did report 0.15 of an inch of rain in the last 24 hours. Richville, the back 40, isn't all that far away from Frankenmuth, and we've got big goose eggs everywhere. Frankenmuth, as we said, about 0.15. Caro, 0.16 of an inch. Cass City, 0.13, and Vassar, just under 0.2 of an inch. And again, about 5 miles away, we have nothing in the way of precipitation to report. You get a little bit further, closer to 69, things really start to add up. Burton in the Flint area, 2/3 of an inch. Linden, 9/10 of an inch. Goodrich looking at about 4,400. Lapeer had a little bit better than 1/3 of an inch. You get down closer to Ann Arbor, the Whitmore Lake area, which is about 14 minutes away from Ann Arbor, 9/10 of an inch there. In Oakland County, Farmington, about 6/10. Richmond and Macomb County, 1/4 of an inch. Ann Arbor had 5/10. Manchester, close to 7/10. Saline, close to 6/10 of an inch. Morenci, Michigan, and Lenawee County, 3/4 of an inch there. Tecumseh, 2/3 of an inch. And Tipton, looking at about 9/10 of an inch. Dundee, reporting 2/3 of an inch as well. Jackson had 3/4 of an inch of rain in the last 24 hours, but Lansing, a whole lot less. And then you get north of 69 and 96, and you're not seeing much of anything in the way of moisture. West side of the state, bone dry. Northern Michigan, just like many of us in the Great Lakes Bay region, nothing to report in the last 24 hours. And many of us have not seen much of anything in the way of moisture for several days. Matter of fact, the biggest weather event we saw over the last week, for the most part, was not only the chilly temperatures during the day, but some frost. And it is beginning to show up from Friday night and Saturday night, very chilly conditions where some of the tender plants, tender foliage out there was burned. But so far, I think the majority of those are going to make it. So what are we looking at? 80 degrees is what we're projecting for a high temperature today. Sun as we go through the remainder of the day. A few clouds around tonight. If there is going to be a shower, again, it will be very spotty. We have a high pressure system over southeastern Missouri that's going to be moving into Kentucky, and that's going to be dominating our weather over the next several days, because that high is just going to hang around that area, maybe as far east as North Carolina, and then kind of drift back into Tennessee as we go through the weekend and into the first part of the work week, drafting very warm and humid air up into and around the Ohio River Basin and eventually up into Michigan. So that's why we're going to be looking at weather very typical for the middle of July as we go through the weekend and into the first part of the work week next week, with chances of precipitation, very spotty, a thunder shower popping up here and there. That's going to be about it. 30 percentile is what they're talking as far as moisture as we roll into the second half of the weekend. Actually, I think the best chance of any of that activity is going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week, where practically every afternoon and early evening there will be an opportunity for some precipitation around. If there is going to be any precip tonight, very widely scattered, isolated, maybe 1/10 of an inch, and that's going to be it. During the day tomorrow, we'll start off with a few clouds early, but then sun as we go through the day, and that temperature is really going to rev up. I still think we're going to come pretty close to 90 degrees for a high tomorrow, especially if we get rid of the clouds early, and the humidity levels now are going to be increasing. 67 for a low tomorrow night. Tonight, looking at a low of right around 65, then Saturday, 91. 70 for a low on Saturday night. That high pressure over North Carolina is really going to be pulling the warm, humid stuff up into Michigan. Long-range outlook to take us through the 16th of the month, much above average on the temperatures, at or slightly below as far as the moisture goes. Average is 75 in the afternoon, 54 at night. A year ago, our high today was 85, and our low was 65. But the big difference is a year ago, last year on this date, for the first several months of 2020, we had a little bit better than 13.5 inches of rain to talk about. This year, 5.75 inches so far since liquid precipitation since the beginning of the year. Yeah, it's dry. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. As I mentioned, Chris Weiler will be joining us in a moment from the Andersons and let us know what's going on with the markets. Before we get to all of that, though, we want to remind you, the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency, reminding you that risk management is what it's all about when you work with the folks at the Sarr Agency, because when these thunderstorms pop up out of nowhere, you want to make sure that that crop is covered. It's going through a lot right now, and it will go through a lot before harvest time. We all know it. Hail insurance covers for losses due to hail. They'll pay a loss from 1% to 100%, and you can pick the fields you want to cover. So for more information on that, The Michael Starr Crop Insurance Agency is ready to take care of you. They're licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance, and their agents are available by cell phone. You can call the office, 989-868-4722 for more information. Chris Weiler, good morning. How are you this morning?
Terry, I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Hey, not too bad. Any idea how much rain you've got down in your neck of the woods?
I heard you giving the rundown for Lenawee County. 0.7 to an inch is what we saw here in southeast Michigan, northwest Ohio. So
everything has got to be looking pretty good, huh?
Yeah, and we're gonna get some heat following it. Should do a lot of good down here. But as you said, up north, it was pretty much non-existent over the last day or two.
So the weather obviously has played a pretty big role in our commodity prices these days. What's going on right now?
Well, right now we're showing showing corn down about 2 to 7 across the board. So on the front end, we got old crop corn at $6.63, new crop at $5.25. Beans down about $0.015. Old crop sitting at $15.71, new crop at $13.61. Then new crop red wheat down 11.5 at $6.31, new crop white at $6.41. Weather, we've heard a little concern about some weather out west, but really the last couple of days, not a whole lot going on. I know end of last week there was the sentiment in the market was that we had good weather coming at us. Since last Tuesday, I think in new crop corn we've gained at one point almost 85 cents in new crop corn price, just from futures, just from adding a little bit of weather premium and adding and continued good export numbers to China.
So at this stage of the game, it looks like, with fingers crossed, we should be able to fill the pipeline with some product, huh?
Yeah. Production wise, not really a whole. We're into the weather. We're going to be trading a weather market here for the next couple months. We've got the report on the 30th. We'll get an update on planted acres. It's our opinion. I think most of the trade figures that we're gonna find the market's gonna find some more acres because $13+ new crop soys and over $5 to $6 corn. Ground to getting planted, and guys are planting whatever they can.
And they're not having any problem planting it either, are they?
Nope. No, and I'm sure you've talked about it in Michigan. We're just so far ahead from a planting progress standpoint. Yeah, the cold weather, the last few days, that frost we had here a couple days ago, maybe that gets us to a normal harvest time frame. But I think at one point we were 20 to 30% ahead of the 5-year average on planting progress.
Yeah, we're really way ahead as of right now, according to the latest statistics. But Chris, push some of that moisture up our way, okay?
I will do what I can.
All right. Talk to you later.
Right. Thanks, Terry.
You bet. Chris Weiler over at the Andersons. A little bit more as far as what's going on with the markets. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joins us. Market report brought to you by the folks at Hudson Inc. Bader & Sons is now a part of Hudson Incorporated, serving mid-Michigan with 18 locations. They carry a full lineup of John Deere equipment and provide parts service and support. Learn more about Hudson Inc. at HudsonInc.com. And by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, they offer competitive prices, consistent prices for your soybeans. So call them and ask for a quote today. They've been makers of Exceller Meal, which is a high bypass soybean meal to maximize your dairy herd's production since 1991. So for more information on it, ask your nutritionist or your local feed dealer today about Exceller Meal. Morning, Doug.
Good morning.
What are we looking at now?
Well, we got a new high on crude oil overnight and gasoline. This morning, the labor market report from the government came in a little tighter than the markets hoped for. So the dollar bounces off there just about a 1-year low. So the dollar's trading up about 66/100ths of a percent. So that's pretty strong. So that's kind of leading into taper tantrum. You're worried that the Fed is going to quit buying assets, bonds and things like that to keep the markets going. So that's a worry. You know, the last time it shaved 10 to 20% off the stock markets, but you know, we don't know. Tomorrow is the other labor report coming out, and who knows? That should come out around 10 maybe tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But it really hammered the precious metals today, anywhere from 2 to 3.5% going down. So that's the initial. We'll see what happens, but here's your numbers. July corn, 6.65 3/4, down 9 1/4. December corn, 5.68 3/4, down 4 cents. July soybeans, 15.59 3/4, down 2 3/4. November soybeans, 14.09 3/4, down 4 cents. July wheat, 6.75 1/4, down 12 1/4. And December wheat is 6.88, down 12 cents. Crude oil, 68.29, down 54 cents. Heating oil, 208.5, down 2 1/4 cents. Gasoline, 218.19, down 1.2 cents. And natural gas, 305 1/4, that's down 2 cents. Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar gets you $1.2109 at the border. That's up 77 ticks to their benefit for export purposes. Japanese yen is 110.27. That's up 73 ticks. The euro is 121.23. That's down 86 ticks. The dollar's at 90.51. That's up 61 ticks. Gold at 1869.90, down 37.60. Silver's at 27.33, down 87.5 cents. Platinum's at 11.60.50, down 32.20. And copper's sitting at 4.43. That's down 15 cents.
All right. Doug, have a good one.
Okay, thanks. You too.
You betcha. Talk to you later. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. When we return, Jerry Samolsky will be joining us.
First, we had a toilet paper shortage. Then it was a sanitizer shortage. And now a chip shortage. Don't worry, not potato chips. We're talking computer chips. I'm Steve Cook from Cook Chevrolet Buick and Vassar. Thanks to this latest shortage, new car and truck inventories are absolutely depleted for every car company across the entire country. So at the Cook GM Superstore in Vassar, at any point in time, we have a few Silverado pickups, Blazers, Equinoxes, and Traverses in stock. And in the event we don't have exactly what you need, we can tell you details about every Chevy or Buick that will be arriving in the next several weeks. And most importantly, we'll let you reserve the vehicle of your choice. Do you have a lease coming due in the next several months? What are you going to do? Why not contact a Cook staff member and lock in a vehicle? Here are this month's great zero-down offers. Equinoxes from $208, Blazers $249, and Silverados from $274. That's the Cook GM Superstore, M15 Top of the Hill in Vassar.
Payments based on 36-month GM employee and family lease, 10,000 miles per year, and includes all rebates. Chevy, find new roads.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michigan Wheat Board. Here's a reminder, they're going to have their Michigan Summer Wheat Field Day. It's going to be next Wednesday, June the 9th. For more information, just go to miwheat.org. 2 RUP credits are available and 2 CCA credits are pending. Again, that's June the 9th, beginning at 8 a.m. in the morning. It's a virtual tour. Farm Service brought to you by the folks at Steiner Tractor Parts, new parts for old tractors. That's what it's all about. And here's the number, 800-234-3280, or you can go online at steinertractor.com. Remember, they understand how your life and job both stop if your tractor stops running. They've got a passion for those old tractors. Steiner Tractor Parts. Jerry Samolsky, the plant of the week. What is it?
Terry, it's a perennial this week, and it's painted daisy. Robinson's Red. Now, it's a member of the chrysanthemum family, so it comes back every year. It's blooming right now. Beautiful red daisy-type flower. It has like almost a ferny foliage. Foliage maybe a foot or 18 inches, and then the flower head itself comes up to be maybe 24, 30 inches tall. Durable plant. Deer do not like them, so that's, again, another positive. It's a sun plant, does well, easy to care for, not many diseases or insect problems, so it's a wonderful plant. Flowering right now.
And we can see them at the nursery, right?
You can. We're open today, the rest of the week till 8 to 5, and then we'll be here 9 to 2 on Saturday.
Fantastic. Jerry, thank you very much. You take care. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Along with me, Chuck Lipstrew with the Michigan Agribusiness Association. Chuck, some legislation, some chit-chat about the meat program. What's going on with that?
Well, so this year, at the end of this year, the state law that authorizes freshwater fees that are charged on fertilizer and pesticide registrations in the state expires December 31st. Those fees largely go to fund the Michigan Agriculture Environmental Assurance Program. So in Lansing right now, there's a discussion about how do we continue that program and what happens to the fees when they sunset. Senator Kevin Daly last week introduced a bill in the Michigan Senate. It's a good bill for Michigan agriculture. Specifically, it would continue the meat program that serves farmers across our state and helps amplify environmental stewardship. And on the fee side, it renews those fertilizer tonnage and pesticide registration fees that go to fund meat. Those are paid by agribusinesses around the state and also by farmers, because that fertilizer tonnage fee in particular, generally speaking, gets passed on to the farmer. So agriculture is paying to support this program. The bill from Senator Daly continues those fees, but really importantly, it doesn't raise the fees. So it doesn't impose any costly new fees on farmers and agribusinesses around our state. So it's a win-win. It's a common sense proposal. It's good news for farmers and businesses and rural communities in our state. We were pleased to see Senator Daly introduce that bill, and we'll be supporting it as soon as it moves ahead.
Oh, good news. Good news for that program and good news for Michigan when it comes to conservation and taking care of the water that we've got out there.
Absolutely. It's, and this is one of those things where it's good to be ahead of the deadline there, December 31st. We do need to figure out a solution by then because the sunset is coming up. And we just really appreciate Senator Kevin Daly for crafting what we see as a common sense proposal and starting this conversation in the Michigan Senate. And look forward to working with him and everybody involved to make sure that we continue the environmental stewardship programs that we have in the state, but also make sure that farmers and businesses aren't saddled with an additional fee or a major fee increase that would come on top of what they already contribute.
All righty. Chuck, thank you. We appreciate it. You take care. All righty?
Thank you, sir.
You betcha.
Have you been thinking about how much you need to save for retirement? Are you already retired and wonder how you can protect and grow your savings? What about the risk level of your current investments? If you have these or other questions about your financial future, now is the best time to get them answered. This is Kim Martin, financial advisor at Thumb Bank and Trust. No matter what life stage you're in, having the right retirement plan will give you peace of mind. At Thumb Bank and Trust, we have been helping clients meet their financial goals for over 125 years. Please give us a call at 866-862-3113 to schedule a conversation. I look forward to answering your questions and helping you build a plan that gives you peace of mind. Non-deposit investment products and services are not insured by FDIC or otherwise federally insured and are not a deposit or guarantee of the bank and may involve investment risk, including possible loss of principal. Thumb Bank and Trust, with locations in Pigeon, Caseville, Cass City, Bad Axe, and Bay City, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Ray at Big Gick Nursery and Garden Center in Bay City. And do we have something to celebrate? You're invited to stop in this week and see our exciting new expansion. More space to shop will make shopping more enjoyable at the Gicks. Plus, you'll have fun seeing all that's new for spring. Our outdoor entertainment area has come alive with classic and innovative styles of accents and tasteful garden features. Big Gick's greatest selection of shade and fruit trees, flowering shrubs, evergreens, perennials, vines, and ornamental grasses, plus a great variety of annuals, vegetables, hanging baskets, container gardens, and pouches for your deck or patio. Big Gick's has the full line of Weber grills and accessories in stock, and you won't find a better selection or a lower price anywhere else. See our exciting new expansion. More space to shop will make shopping more enjoyable at the Gicks. We'll see you this week, the Gick Nursery and Garden Center on M84, 1 mile east of I-75, west side Saginaw Road, Bay City.
Well, Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. It looks like there's hay out there that's going to be cut here pretty quick.
Yes, Terry, in my travels yesterday, I actually saw some chopping going on already. So
I thought with the dry weather it might be delayed, but apparently not.
Well, and I'll tell you, I wish the only thing that went into those choppers was hay, but unfortunately stones get in there, don't they?
Well, yes, sometimes stones, deer carcasses, any type of debris that could be out in the field. And you know, Terry, I think you've had firsthand experience with it, that can be a costly repair when that happens. There is coverage available from your farm policy, but it's not an automatic thing. So hopefully your agent is talking with you about your risks, because that coverage also would apply to the combines and any other piece of equipment that you have in the shed.
Yeah. For more information, we can get a hold of you. How do we do that?
Well, Terry, we're always happy to take a phone call at 800-572-0939, or folks can go to rummelinsurance.com and send me an email from there.
Fantastic. You have a great day. Craig, thanks a lot, and drive careful out there, all right?
All right. Thanks, Terry.
You betcha. A little bit more as far as what's going on in New York. Hopefully we're not picking up a few stones there, Steve Anderson. What's going on the board in New York City today?
Well, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is ahead by 30 points, putting it at 34,630. Volume there, 426 million shares. However, we do have a few stones in the NASDAQ. That is down 136 points, putting it at 13,621 on volume of 507 million shares. Locally, Caterpillar 245.89 up 243. Deere 363.14 up 643. CMS 62.89 up 47. Dow 70.25 up 130. DuPont is 85.38 up 75. Corteva 45.93 up 27. GM 62.81 up 316. Trinzio 66.86 down 49. Walmart 141.50 up 15. Home Depot 312.42 down 81. Huntington Banks 15.90 up 2. TCF is 47.64. That's up a nickel, and AT&T is down 19 cents up 29.42.
Very good. Steve Anderson, you take care. Have a great day, okay?
I will. You do the same, Terry.
Will do. We'll be back at 12:30 with an update. Now we join radio stations all across the country by playing our national anthem.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Steve Kathan. There's been new court action today in the story from Central Florida of two children who allegedly shot it out with police after breaking into a home. CBS's Jim Crisula.
A 12-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl are accused of shooting at sheriff's deputies in Central Florida.
Shooting out the rear window toward my direction. Stand by.
The boy appeared before Circuit Court Judge Michael Orfinger.
I'm going to order that you be held in secure detention for 21 days or until further order of the court.
The children ran away from a group home and allegedly broke into a house loaded with weapons. The girl was shot by deputies. She's in stable condition after surgery.
In a letter, the Biden administration warns business leaders to map out strategies for stopping ransomware attacks. It says they have increased significantly. Cyber expert Chris Krebs.
Until we can disrupt the profitability of the ransomware business model, these events are going to continue to happen.
Officials in Minneapolis have reopened the intersection where George Floyd was killed last year, but are not removing nearby memorials. This resident says the action came with no warning.
I totally get this needs to be opened back up. I understand that, but it's about the way that you go about things, you know? The city came in the most disrespectful manner.
The government says claims for jobless benefits hit a new pandemic low, 385,000 last week. Jonathan Carlisle of Toledo is Ohio's latest COVID vaccine lottery winner, a cool $1 million.
Paying some bills and probably buying a house. And beyond that, I don't know.
The White House has just announced a global COVID vaccine sharing program with plans to send 75% of excess doses in this country to an international alliance. 50 days till the scheduled start of the Summer Games in Tokyo. Asia correspondent Ramy Inocencio says a surge in coronavirus cases has people at odds over whether the games should go on.
Popular protest has engulfed the Olympic bubble, with Tokyo 2020 President Seiko Hashimoto forced to address concerns. All athletes will be in a bubble to defend their health, she said, and if an outbreak should happen, we must be prepared to go without any spectators.
Obviously, it's a tug of war between the Japanese public opinion.
Japan societal expert Seijiro Takeshita says people need to get vaxxed.
Can Japan actually accelerate enough to make sure everyone's protected?
I personally think it would be very difficult.
Well, Twitter's rolling out a subscription service in Canada and Australia, offering users a feature that gives senders 30 seconds to cancel a tweet. The Dow's up 28 points. This is CBS News.